God, I need some underwear. Back of my ass. Sup? What's up, guys? This is Michael from ChickenTalks, and today is my video game talks, where I talk about latest video game news, updates, and reviews, and I give you my thoughts on it. Today, we are going to be talking about the most talked about game this month and probably this year. Like, everyone has been playing this game. Everyone who owns a PS4. Sorry, Xbox users. Today, we are going to be talking about Marvel Spider-Man. Okay, now there was a lot of hype surrounding this game because, like, I mean, take the hype you expect and times it by like 10, because the hype for this game was so huge, and if it was bad, oh my god, if this was bad, oh my god, there would have been pitchforks and torches all over Sony and Insomniac Games. Like, it would have been so bad if this game was bad. Oh, it would have been like strikes. There would have been like people going nuts if this game was bad. But thank the heavens that was not the case. It is not just one of the greatest Spider-Man games that was ever created, but it is officially, I say officially, the greatest Spider-Man game ever made. No game can top it. Not Spider-Man 2, not Ultimate Spider-Man, not any other Spider-Man game. Not Spider-Man PS1, no other Spider-Man game. This, if you love Spider-Man, I don't know why you haven't bought this game already. Like, buy the game right now. Even if you're an Xbox user, buy a PS4 and play this game. If you are a Spider-Man fan or just a superhero fan in general, get this game. It is a phenomenal game. It is an amazing game. And me being a Spider-Man fan, like, I don't think you understand how much of a Spider-Man fan I am. Like, Spider-Man is my #1 greatest superhero of all time, and he has always been my favorite superhero. He always has. From the beginning, from when I was a child to now, he has always been my favorite superhero, and it fills me up with so much joy that we have this amazing Spider-Man game. Like, I know, like, Spider-Man 2 was good, but it was not, like, I don't think it was as great as everyone else. Like, as much as the hype everyone gave it, I don't think it was that good. I didn't think it was amazing Spider-Man. I didn't think that was amazing Spider-Man, no. I thought it was a good game. I didn't think it was great, though. But this is an amazing game. This is a Spider-Man game. So I'm just gonna talk about this piece by piece, from the story, gameplay, characters, soundtrack, and just everything else in between. So let's just jump into it. So the story takes place post high school. We have Peter Parker, who has already graduated high school, and now he's in his early 20s and pretty much trying to get his stuff together. And this also takes place after he's faced some of his, like, most known foes, like Rhino, Electro, Scorpion, the Vulture, but we haven't seen no Green Goblin, or we haven't seen, well, we've seen Norman Osborn, but we haven't seen the Green Goblin. And same with Otto Octavius, who they did his relationship between him and Parker so well in this video game. Like, they did it so well, and pretty much you kind of get an origin story of Otto Octavius in this video game, and it is done perfectly. And also, you get newer villains, kind of like the villain we see in the trailer, Mr. Negative, who also is done really well. They did his character perfectly, giving him, they just make him like a generic villain and actually gave him dimensions to his characters and reasons for why he does what he does. And I really appreciate that. Okay, let's get the main one out of the way. How was Peter Parker in this game? Now, Yuri Lowenthal is playing Peter Parker in this game, and if you don't know who he is, he's played characters such as Ben 10, Sasuke and Naruto, and Suzaku and Code Geass, and a bunch of other characters in a bunch of cartoons, video games. He's played a lot of characters, and also it's funny that he's playing Peter Parker in this game because just a month ago I finished reading this book, Voiceover and Voice Actors, written by Yuri Lowenthal and Tara Platt. So I just find that funny, and I'm sorry for disrespecting you, baby. I just threw it like that. Anyway, how was Peter Parker in this game? How was Yuri Lowenthal's performance as Peter Parker? Well, in my opinion, I 100% say that he killed it. He was great in that role as Peter Parker. Like, I don't know where I would compare him to, like, the movie Peter Parker's. Like, I know, like, for me, I say Tom Holland is the best Peter Parker, and you can fight me on that as much as you can say, like, how much you like Tobey Maguire. And I know a lot of people really bash on Andrew Garfield, and all of those people need to shut up because he played Spider-Man way better than Tobey Maguire ever played Spider-Man. You can fight me on that all you want to. No, like, Tobey Maguire, okay, I'm not gonna talk about that. That's for another video. That's for another video. Anyway, I would probably rank him somewhere between Tom Holland, because he was, I don't know if I can say he was better than Tom Holland, because, like, all I have is his performance in here, and he did an amazing job as Spider-Man in this game. Like, at the end of the day, both of them really bring out Spider-Man in their roles. I don't know how Tom Holland really got in here while I'm comparing them. So either way, I'm just gonna focus on Yuri Lowenthal's Peter Parker, and he killed that role. He was amazing as Peter Parker in this game. I think he did, with the quirks and with the cocky personality, with him as Peter Parker and everything that he did, he really showed that he could play Peter Parker, and he really showed that he could play Spider-Man, and he did both of the roles amazing. So I have zero complaints to say about Peter Parker in this game. And then we have Mary Jane, who, I know I'm not the only one who said this, but she's pretty much Lois Lane in this. I mean, it isn't bad, but I mean, I feel like if there was any character who I'd probably say was kind of the weakest, I would probably say it was Mary Jane. But I don't really think there's there's only like 2 iterations of Mary Jane that I've liked, like, ever in the series. Like, I'm not talking about movies, because, like, we've only seen Mary Jane once in the movies, and I hated Sam Raimi's version of Mary Jane. Like, I'm not the actress in general. She played her character. She played Mary Jane the best of her abilities. It was just the character they wrote for her as Mary Jane, I couldn't stand her. But the Mary Jane here, I definitely say was better than, like, you can't even compare this Mary Jane to that Mary Jane. But so, anyway, I still say, like, Mary Jane, she was an alright character. Like, I didn't hate her. Like, that's the main thing. Like, I didn't think she was bad. I would just probably say, like, compared to every other character, she was the weakest. And then we have Miles Morales, who they did perfectly in this game. Like, I think they did Miles Morales the best way possible in this game. I love the way they connected him with Peter Parker. I love the way they did his character, and I think I have no complaints whatsoever with Miles Morales. I think they did him great. And then we have Aunt May, who, I mean, she's not a MILF this time, but I mean, I love either version of Aunt May, so I mean, I can't complain. But Aunt May was great in this, and yeah, I really like the relationship that him and Peter have, and her and Peter, and yeah, Aunt May was great. I don't have any complaints with Aunt May. I think she's like Aunt May is like one of those characters who I feel like is never done bad. Like, so far, I feel like in, like, Sam Raimi Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man Homecoming, and just here, like, I've never had a complaint with Aunt May, and they do her perfectly. So, good job on you. And then we have Otto Octavius, who already said, like, his relationship between him and Peter Parker, I love their dynamic. I love the way they do Otto Octavius in this video game. It is so good. I think it is probably one of the best things about this video game, just seeing the origin story of Dr. Octopus, and I love the way that they did it. They did it perfectly. Like, this might be my favorite iteration of Dr. Octopus for how much character they gave him in this video game. So, like 2 thumbs up to you again for this, because I thought this was great. This was probably one of the best things they did in this game. Dr. Octopus, Otto Octavius. Now the gameplay in Marvel Spider-Man, it was so good that I 100% completed Marvel Spider-Man. I barely 100% complete games, and the combat in this game, just the gameplay, everything about the gameplay in this game was so good. It was so good. Like the swinging mechanics, like just flying around and swinging around town in New York was so good. It really made you feel like Spider-Man. And the combat for this game, now, okay, before I talk about the combat, I would like to talk about all the people who compare this game to like Batman the Arkham series, just like any of the Arkham games, because that's not a bad comparison, because the Arkham games are one of the best superhero games ever made, but where the comparisons end is where the combat is for the Spider-Man game, because the combat in Spider-Man is so much better compared to the Arkham games. You can't even compare them, because the combat in Batman is so easy, and you really just need to press like 1 button to pretty much win in that game. Like the only time like fighting an enemy is hard is like any stealth mission, but when you're just combating someone, when it's just like melee and you're just like fighting them, it's so easy to do anything in the combat system. You just gotta like reverse, 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 hit, reverse, reverse, reverse. But with Spider-Man, it was difficult, but in all of the right ways. Like I feel like any mistake that I made in that game, it was always my fault. It was never the game's fault. And that is how you do a combat system. This is the best. This is probably one of the best combat systems that I have ever played. Because this, like every single thing that I did, I felt like it flowed so great with like all the gadgets you get, like the web shooters, the impact web, the electric web, the like web grenade, like all these different gadgets, they all flowed together so nice, and it worked so well. Even the stealth parts worked out so well, and just everything flowed so beautiful. I just like, that was probably like the highlight of the game. Like even like the story was great, but like the highlight, I feel like for me at least, was the gameplay, because if the gameplay wasn't that good, then it wouldn't have been a good game. It might have been an alright game, but like the gameplay was so good that I have no complaints about anything else, because the gameplay is what shined, and that's the reason why I 100% completed this game, because it was that good of a game. It was that good of a game. And what made the gameplay even better on top of that was, of course, the soundtrack. The soundtrack just made you feel, and just with the story mixed in with the soundtrack inside of the game, it just felt like I was playing a Marvel movie. That's what it was. I was playing a Marvel movie. That's pretty much how it felt from beginning to the end, and I cannot wait, and I hope that we finally get like a Thor video game done right. We get an Iron Man video game done right. We get all these other franchises, just like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We get a cinematic universe of the video games, and that's what we need. This is what we need to really have those really good superhero games we all want. So that's why I cannot... Oh my god, that's going to be amazing when we have that, because oh my god, the soundtrack in this game, it was so good. And from like the beginning of the story to the end of the story, all felt like it was a Marvel movie. And if this was a Marvel movie, if they just like took all the cutscenes and just made this a movie in general, just put it out in the theaters, this might be my favorite Spider-Man movie. If this was made into a movie, this would probably be my favorite Spider-Man movie, because I loved everything in this from beginning to end. It was such a good experience. Like, I know a lot of people would probably say, of course a lot of people would obviously say otherwise with Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, and a lot of good Spider-Man movies out there, but I thought this was the best Spider-Man story told thus far. That's just me. Like, I'm not counting the cartoons, I'm counting any video game and any movie thus far. I'm not counting a comic book or anything else, but this was such a good experience, and the soundtrack on top of that was really good. The design on top of that was so good. It was the design, like I said, everything in the story, the cutscenes were so cinematic. It felt like such an experience that I will never forget, and I'm so glad that I finally get my boy, my Spidey, done right. I am so happy with this. So, my final verdict for Marvel Spider-Man is a golden seal of approval. Now, I know after all that, all of you are probably shocked right now that I did not give this game a platinum. Like everyone, the way I've been like hyping this up pretty much made everyone probably think that this was a platinum seal automatically. Like this is like, okay, 10 out of 10 from the way that I'm hyping it up. 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, platinum, 100%. But for me, I know for a fact that they can easily make it a 10 out of 10 game. They can easily make this a platinum game with a little small tweaks, like a little small tweaks in the story and in the gameplay. Like not the gameplay in general, like keep the same combat system, like keep it and maybe like add on top of that. Like kind of like what I love about like the Jack and Dexter series, like the Witcher series, is that I feel like they took something that was already great, that I already loved to begin with, and then in the sequels they added on to something that was great and made it even better. And that's what I feel like they can easily do that with a Spider-Man sequel. And I'm hoping, I pray and I hope to death that the sequel, I feel like usually nowadays too, it's either goes, when a sequel is made, it either goes one way or another. It is either better than the original or it is bad. It goes one way or another, and I know that Marvel Spider-Man can easily do that. They can easily top this. So please top this. I know you can. With the right story and the right gameplay, you can easily, this is already molded. Like this was so close already. This was so close to getting a platinum. This has probably been the most closest video game thus far to be this close to a platinum. But I know with just the smallest bit, they can make this a platinum in the sequel. So please do that. And I will be 100% satisfied. I'm already 100% satisfied with what you gave me already. But I know that you can make it even better. You can make our expectations even go beyond our expectations. That's what 10 out of 10 for me, that's what 10 out of 10 game is. When it doesn't just hit my expectations, it goes above and beyond what I ever expect. And that is what 10 out of 10 game truly is. This hit my expectations, I was happy for it, but I want the next one to go beyond it. I want it to go above and beyond anything where it shocks me. It catches me off guard for how good some of this stuff is. Where like kind of like I'm trying to think of like a 10 out of 10 game. I'm thinking like the Witcher games. I'll go back to that. Witcher 3 caught me off guard for how much stuff was in that game, for how big that game is, for how insane that game is, for how enormous. There were so many scenes in that game. The story was so rich and detailed. They put their heart and soul into that game, and that's what I think that Spider-Man can easily do, done right. So, anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, peck that like button with your chicken beaks, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to my channel. This is Michael, signing out.